Across the centuries, humanity has experienced wars that reshaped empires, toppled nations, and altered the path of history. Yet not every conflict receives the recognition it deserves. While some are etched into the pages of every history book, others fade into obscurity despite being just as destructive. Their stories lie buried beneath the dust of time. These forgotten wars left deep scars, millions of lives lost, communities destroyed, and legacies erased. Today, we embark on a journey to rediscover some of the most overlooked and brutal wars in human history, conflicts that reveal both the resilience and destructiveness of mankind. Let us explore these untold stories of human conflict together. Our journey begins in 19th century China, a nation gripped by poverty, corruption, and despair. The Taiping Rebellion, one of the bloodiest conflicts in history, claimed the lives of an estimated 20 to 30 million people. Yet outside of China, few know its story. The rebellion was sparked by Hong Xiuquan, a man who proclaimed himself the younger brother of Jesus Christ and sought to overthrow the Qing dynasty. He aimed to create a heavenly kingdom shaped by his version of Christianity. For 14 years, China was ravaged by civil war. Entire cities were destroyed. Famine swept the land. Millions perished in brutal massacres. Although the Qing dynasty eventually crushed the rebellion, the cost was immense. A fractured nation, ruined infrastructure, and enduring pain. The Taiping Rebellion remains a powerful reminder of what can happen when ideology and desperation collide. We now shift to South Africa at the turn of the 20th century, where the Second Boer War unfolded. This brutal conflict pitted the British Empire against the Boer settlers, descendants of Dutch colonists. While it began as a struggle over territory, the war soon descended into one of guerrilla tactics, scorched earth policies, and widespread civilian suffering. The Boers, skilled in guerrilla warfare, resisted British forces fiercely. In retaliation, the British employed devastating measures, burning farms, destroying homes, and creating concentration camps. These camps housed thousands of women and children, many of whom died from starvation and disease. The Second Boer War marked one of the first times that modern war's human toll was carefully documented. Though Britain claimed victory, the deep wounds it left on South Africa's people and landscape lasted for generations. In the arid heart of South America between 1932 and 1935, Paraguay and Bolivia fought a war as senseless as it was savage. The Chaco War was driven by a false belief that the remote Gran Chaco region held vast oil reserves. Fueled by this illusion, both nations plunged into battle. Ill-equipped soldiers faced unbearable heat, rugged terrain, and a constant shortage of water. Disease, including malaria and dengue, claimed more lives than bullets or bombs. By the end, over 100,000 people were dead. The promised oil reserves never existed. Paraguay emerged victorious, but both countries paid a terrible price. The Chaco War stands as a stark example of how misguided ambition can lead to immense human suffering. Next, we travel back to 17th century Europe and witness the 30 Years' War, one of the most destructive conflicts in Western history. What began as a religious dispute between Catholics and Protestants within the Holy Roman Empire soon escalated into a continental war. Powers such as France, Sweden, and Spain joined the fray. The result was catastrophic. Marauding mercenaries burned towns to the ground. Civilians were ravaged by famine and disease. In some areas, up to 60% of the population perished. The Peace of Westphalia, signed in 1648, ended the conflict and redrew the political map of Europe. But the devastation endured. The 30 Years' War is a chilling reminder of the devastation that long and complicated conflicts can cause. Stretching from 1337 to 1453, the 100 Years' War between England and France was not merely a dynastic struggle, it was a multi-generational catastrophe. Though major battles like Crécy and Agincourt dominate the historical narrative, the true horror lay elsewhere. Armies pillaged the countryside, set fire to crops, and left civilians to starve. The Black Death struck Europe in the midst of this war, further decimating populations. Amidst this darkness, figures like Joan of Arc emerged symbols of resilience and hope. Although France ultimately prevailed, the war left lasting trauma in both nations. Their political and cultural landscapes were forever altered. Finally, we arrive at the heart of Africa in the late 20th century. The Second Congo War, sometimes called Africa's World War, is one of the deadliest conflicts since the Second World War. Yet it remains largely ignored in global conversations. It began in 1998 amid political chaos in the Democratic Republic of Congo. Soon, 9 countries and over 20 armed groups became entangled in a violent struggle over resources and power. While military clashes claimed many lives, most deaths resulted from hunger, disease, and displacement. An estimated 5 million people died. Countless others endured forced labor, sexual violence, and the recruitment of child soldiers. The war officially ended in 2003, but its effects linger. It remains a grim example of how international apathy can allow massive suffering to go unchecked. These forgotten wars reveal that human suffering knows no bounds, neither in time nor place. Each of these conflicts left behind devastation, loss, and hard-earned lessons. By unearthing their stories, we pay tribute to the millions who endured them. And in doing so, we equip ourselves with the knowledge necessary to ensure that such tragedies are never repeated.